Hello, welcome to Microsoft Azure Cloud channel. In this module, we will talk about how to load data from Azure SQL database to Azure Synapse. We need to create a storage account and we need to create one Synapse. That data warehouse holds the data that's copied over from SQL database, and we need to create one Azure SQL database. And we need to create Azure Data Factory. We will do this activity with Azure Data Factory. I'm in the Azure portal now. I have Azure Data Factory created. I have it ready. I have SQL database ready and storage account, and I have Synapse SQL pool and SQL Server ready. So I will go to Azure Data Factory and let's click on author and monitor. Now we are in Azure Data Factory overview page. We will do this activity with copy data. Let's click on copy data, and then here in the properties we need to give a task name. Let's say SQL DB to Synapse, and let's keep the description also same, and task schedule. So run once now. This is not regularly on schedule, so I will just run one time. So let's click next, and let's choose our destination. So I have some available. Let's go to copy activity. Let's click on next and go to Azure, create a new connection. And we need to choose Azure SQL database, continue. And we need to establish the connection, select the Azure subscription, and then server name, test server, and then database name, SQL DB test one. This is Azure SQL database. We are loading data from this to Azure Synapse. So we are creating source connections, and let's give username. Test the connection. It is successful. Let's create this connection and go to next. Now we have all these tables available, so I will just choose a sales customer table. I want to move this table to Azure Synapse. So let's select this table, customer table, go to next, go to next. So now we need to choose a destination. Let's select Azure, create new connection, and our destination Azure Synapse. And click the subscription and then server name. We need to choose that SQL pool. Let's enter the credentials. Test the connection. Great. Now we established source and destination connections. Let's click on next. It's loading now. If we don't have table available in a destination, that is in Synapse, then it automatically creates the table in destination. So here you can choose existing table, or you can choose that newly create table. So now let's click on next. Click on next. So now we need to provide this storage account the blob storage account, create new, select Azure subscription and select the storage account and test connection. Connection successful and create this connection. Now use Polybase. Now let's click on next. So Polybase cannot be used together with type conversion. So let's go back to previous connections and let's uncheck this type conversion and click on next. Now here we can see the summary. We are running pipeline to copy data from Azure SQL database to Azure Synapse Analytics. So now here we can see that the source connection name, Azure SQL database 2, and then dataset name and then table name. We are moving this table from Azure SQL database to Synapse. Now let's click next. Now it's deploying. Now we can monitor this activity. So here we see that triggered by manual trigger, status in progress. Let's just click on this. Let's see. It's still in progress. Now this job is completed. And here we can see it. The rows read 847 from Azure SQL database and the rows written 847. And we can see that DIUs of 4 and then the duration, it took 4 seconds. Okay, now let's connect to SQL Server using SSMS and let's try to see if data is loaded in destination. Yeah, I opened SSMS and let's check. This is our SQL database, SQL DB text one. Here we can see the tables. So sales LT customer table. So we copied this data, this table to Azure Synapse, and let's go and check in Azure Synapse if the table is available. And here is our Synapse SQL pool. Click on it. I will just click on new query. So let's check these tables and the table should be available. Here we can see that sales customer table is available. Let's try to query on this table. And we need to select Azure Synapse. Yes, now we can see the data here. And we have 847 records available in this table in Synapse. Let's just check the count. 847 records are available. So this is how we can load a table from Azure SQL to Azure Synapse using Azure Data Factory. If you have any questions, please post it in the comment. If you like this video, please subscribe and share the channel. Thank you.